Folks, let me tell you, some cars just have. You hear the name, you see the shape, and you instantly know what you're dealing with. The Dodge Challenger is one of those cars. It's a true American icon, a muscle car that screams power and presence. When one of these rumbles by, heads turn, you can't help but look. It's got that classic Detroit attitude baked right in. This isn't just transportation, it's a statement. It says you appreciate heritage and you're not afraid of a little V8 thunder, or a lot of V8 thunder depending on the model. The Challenger has this amazing ability to connect with people. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned car guy or just someone who appreciates cool design. There's something undeniably appealing about its bold lines and that aggressive stance. It's a throwback to a time when cars had real personality, real character, and Dodge, to their credit, really nailed it when they brought it back. They understood that people wanted that classic muscle car feel, but with all the modern technology and safety we expect today. So buckle up, because this is going to be a fun ride. Alright, let's rewind the clock a bit. Picture it, the late 1960s. The muscle car era was in full swing. Ford had the Mustang, Chevy had the Camaro, and Mopar fans were hungry for their own pony car champion. Dodge answered that call in the fall of 1969 with the 1970 model year Dodge Challenger. This wasn't just another car, it was a statement. It was designed to go head-to-head with the big boys, and it came out swinging. The timing was perfect, right at the peak of muscle car madness. The Challenger was built on Chrysler's E-Body platform. It shared this platform with its cousin, the Plymouth Barracuda. However, the Challenger got a slightly longer wheelbase, giving it a unique stance and a bit more presence. Chief exterior designer Carl Cameron really hit a home run. He gave it that iconic long hood, short deck, and wide, aggressive grille. It looked mean, it looked fast, and it had a range of wild, high-impact colors like Plum Crazy and Go Mango. These cars weren't shy, that's for sure. Under the hood, Dodge offered a staggering array of engine choices. By 1974, the party was winding down for the first-generation Challenger. Now after that fantastic first generation, things took a, shall we say, turn for the Challenger nameplate. The mid-1970s were a tough time for muscle cars, gas was expensive and regulations were tight. So, when Dodge decided to bring back the Challenger for the 1978 model year, it was a very different beast. This wasn't the fire-breathing monster of the early 70s. This was a sign of the times, a product of a changing automotive world. It was, to put it mildly, a bit of a shock for the purists. This second-generation Challenger was actually a rebadged import. It was a Mitsubishi Galant Lambda coupe, brought over from Japan. Dodge called it a captive import. Now, there's nothing wrong with Japanese cars of that era. They were often reliable and efficient. But for a nameplate like Challenger, which was synonymous with V8 power and American muscle, this was a hard pill to swallow for many fans. It was a compact coupe, focused more on fuel economy and sporty looks than on raw, pavement-pounding performance. It was a Challenger in name only, really. It served a purpose during a difficult period, but most enthusiasts were left hoping for a true return to form for the Challenger name. Fast forward through the 80s and 90s. The memory of the original Challenger lingered, a legend whispered among car folks. Then, in the mid-2000s, something wonderful happened. The retro muscle car revival. Ford brought back the Mustang with classic styling cues, and Chevy was working on a new Camaro. Dodge knew it was time. At the 2006 North American International Auto Show in Detroit, they unveiled the Dodge Challenger concept. And let me tell you, the crowd went absolutely wild. It was a stunning tribute to the 1970 model. The production version arrived for the 2008 model year, and Dodge wisely stuck very close to that incredible concept. It was big, bold, and unmistakably a Challenger. They launched it initially as an SRT-8 model, packing a potent 6.1-liter Hemi V8. It had the long hood, the short deck, the classic grille, and those beautiful body lines. It was like seeing an old friend, but even better than you remembered. This wasn't just a car, it was an event. Dodge had listened to the fans and delivered exactly what they wanted. Over its impressive run from 2008 to 2023, the third-generation Challenger saw continuous improvement and evolution. This generation truly cemented the Challenger's place in modern muscle car history. Section 5, Heart of the Beast: Engines, Power and Performance. Alright, let's talk about what really makes a Challenger a Challenger. What's under that long hood? The third generation offered a fantastic lineup of engines, something for everyone. At the entry level, you had the award-winning 3.6-liter Pentastar V6. Now some folks might scoff at a V6 in a muscle car, but this engine delivered over 300 horsepower. That's more than many V8s from the original muscle car era. It made the Challenger accessible and still pretty quick, a good all-around choice for daily driving. But let's be honest, most people associate the Challenger with Hemi power, and Dodge did not disappoint. The 5.7-liter Hemi Vi8, found in the RT models, was a sweetheart. It offered that classic V8 rumble and plenty of punch, typically around 375 horsepower. Then you had the 6.4-liter Hemi, also known as the 392. This beast, found in the Scat Pack and SRT 392 models, churned out a very healthy 485 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. These naturally aspirated V8 provided thrilling acceleration and a soundtrack that just can't be beat. Then Dodge decided to rewrite the rulebook with the SRT Hellcat in 2015. Section 6. Kings of the Strip, Notable Challenger Models and Variants. Dodge didn't just build powerful Challengers, they built Challengers. They knew their audience loved exclusivity and even more extreme performance. The SRT Hellcat, as we mentioned, was a game-changer. It democratized insane horsepower. Suddenly, over 700 horsepower wasn't just for exotic supercars. It had that signature supercharger whine that became instantly recognizable. People bought these cars not just for the power, but for the statement they made. The Hellcat badge became a symbol of ultimate American muscle. Then, for the 2018 model year, Dodge did something truly bonkers. They introduced the SRT Demon. This was a limited production street-legal drag racing monster. It came with a supercharged 6.2-liter Hemi tune for up to 840 horsepower on race fuel. It had drag radials, a trans brake, a special air conditioning system to cool the intake air, and you could even option it with just a driver's seat to save weight. It could pop wheelies off the line. This car was all about one thing: dominating the quarter mile. Section 7. Hollywood Star Power, the Challenger in Pop Culture. You know a car has made it when it becomes a star on the big screen. And the Dodge Challenger, both classic and modern, has had plenty of memorable Hollywood moments. Perhaps the most iconic is the white 1970 Challenger RT in the 1971 cult classic film. That car, driven by the enigmatic Kowalski, became a symbol of freedom and rebellion. It cemented the Challenger's image as a cool, anti-establishment machine. That movie alone probably sold a lot of Challengers, or at least made a lot of people dream about owning one. The Challenger's cool factor didn't fade with time. In the franchise, a modern orange Dodge Challenger SRT-8 is famously driven by Dominic Toretto's crew member Roman Pierce in, and later Dom himself pilots a modified Challenger in other installments. These movies introduced the Challenger to a whole new generation of car enthusiasts, showcasing its power and aggressive looks in high-octane action sequences. It fit right in with the franchise's celebration of horsepower and car culture. It wasn't just movies. Section 8. Muscle Car Wars Challenger versus the competition. Now, the Dodge Challenger doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's always had some stiff competition, primarily from its two big rivals, the Ford Mustang and the Chevrolet Camaro. These three have been battling it out for muscle car supremacy for decades, both in the classic era and in the modern revival. Each one has its own strengths, its own personality, and its own loyal fan base. It's a friendly rivalry mostly, but a fierce one nonetheless. It keeps all three companies on their toes, pushing them to make better, faster cars. The Challenger always carved out its own niche. Compared to the Mustang and Camaro, the modern Challenger is generally a bit bigger and heavier. This gives it a more substantial presence on the road and often a more comfortable ride. It also means more interior space and a larger trunk, making it a surprisingly practical muscle car for daily use or long trips. While the Mustang and Camaro often focused more on nimble handling and track performance, the Challenger excelled as a powerful grand tourer and a straight-line missile, especially in its V8 forms. When it comes to styling, the Challenger stayed truest to its retro roots. The Mustang and Camaro evolved their designs more significantly over the years, but the Challenger from 2008 to 2023 looked very much like an updated version of the 1970 to 1971 models. Section 9. An enduring American legacy, the Challenger's lasting roar. So, what's the final word on the Dodge Challenger? It's more than just a car. It's a piece of American history, a symbol of an era. From its explosive debut in 1970 to its triumphant rebirth in 2008 and its incredible run concluding with the 2023 last call models, the Challenger has left an indelible mark. It's a machine that stirs the soul,